welcome back. Today I'm going to be drawing Mickey Mouse. So I'm going to show you the steps that I take in drawing Mickey. So we're going to use a pencil, and the first thing we're going to do is grab a sheet of paper with that pencil and figure out where his head is going to be. So his head's going to be a circular shape, and I'm going to leave some spaces on the left and right for his ears. So when you're drawing the circle, and you can, if you have a large circle template, you can do that, or any type of object that is round if you want to get this perfect. But we're just going to kind of freehand this, and I'm going to draw my circle lightly like this. Okay. From there, you can see we have some space here for the ears over here. But before we go there, we'll divide our head here in half. So we'll draw a faint line vertically and another one horizontally like this. Okay, after we have those crosshairs placed there, we'll draw Mickey's nose. So we'll do an ellipse just under this line here that's in the center of his head. And then we can draw the top of his nose has a crown shape like this that follows the top of this ellipse here. So this shape here, we'll just echo that like this. Okay, the next step is we're going to draw his mask form. So what we can do is we can find a location. So if this is halfway from this vertical line here, if you look halfway here, if you go to about 1/4 the distance from the edge of the circle, somewhere about here, roughly, it could be a little bit further in, but it's not going to be exactly halfway. So we'll try to find the same spot on this side. So if you take this distance and mirror it over, just so we get the same, put a couple points there. And then what we're going to do is it's going to look like it's a big heart shape. Okay, so we're going to come up here from this point here. We'll come and we'll connect to this edge here. Okay, so let's start off. So we'll come up like this, and then we'll round like that. And then at the top here, we will come back down somewhere about here. All right, like that. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. And see, I put a marker there just to have an idea of where I want to get to, but you can adjust that. Okay, now that we have that, we'll go over here. We'll come back to this position here, and we'll come and draw a curve like that, a small curve like this. And then we'll do the same on this side. So we'll come from here, and we'll come like that. Okay, so we have those, and these will connect to the lower part of our circle. Okay, the next step, let's add Mickey's mouth. So what I'll do here, we'll go almost between the nose and the bottom of the head. Okay, if we find the halfway position, somewhere about there, that's kind of where we want to be. You can go a little bit lower. So we'll start about here, roughly, and we'll kind of draw a smiley curve like this, and we'll come back up. Now on the sides of his mouth, we'll draw these shapes like this. And then now, we'll draw his mouth that's actually open, and his tongue will be inside there. So what's going to happen here is this shape from right about here, this point and this point, we're going to draw almost like a U shape like this, and it's going to touch the bottom of our circle, the bottom of the head. See that? Now you're saying, okay, but his head ends here. How are we going to fix that? Well, the same thing that we did here with the nose, we drew that extra part. We're going to draw the same thing down below for his mouth. So we're going to follow that same curve like this. I'm going to do that. So then his head will stop there, and this side here will stop there. And his mouth will actually extend beyond the bottom of the circle, beyond his head. And now for his tongue, I'm going to draw a line that comes like this and it curves, and then a second one like that. So you can see that's his tongue. Okay, the next step, let's go and add his eyes. So we're going to use this vertical line here as the center of his head. And we're going to do the eyes obviously on both sides. So we'll create a shape like this that'll come up. And as you can see, this ellipse will continue. If you kept growing and drew it, it would extend beyond the bottom. The bottom edge will extend beyond the nose. So we'll do the same on the other side. We'll try to duplicate these as similar on the left and right as possible. And we're using a pencil because we can erase and you're not committing to anything. So if this looks a little narrow, we can widen that. We can use our eraser, come in, and get rid of things that we don't want. So once you like your eyes and they're looking as symmetrical as you like, then we'll add the pupils. So these will touch the inner edges of the eyes right here and here. So we'll draw another smaller ellipse, and this will almost be the full ellipse like that. And then there'll be one on the right side. And then we can draw some eyebrows. So coming up to his mask shape here, right about here, draw a little curve, and we can do the same on this side, like that. Okay, now we have the basics of his head drawn in. We can get the ears in. So what we're going to do is, if you go from this center position of our crosshairs, okay, and if you draw a line 45 degrees over, like this, and then 45 degrees here. Okay, this will get us kind of where you want to draw the ellipse using this line here. So we're going to draw an ellipse like this. Okay, and it's going to touch his head here. So the ellipse will be about this size here, and it's going to go inside of the head like that, and you'll have one on this side. I'm just going to turn my page a little bit so that I can get the same elliptical shape there. Okay, so now we have our Mickey's head. What I like to do is I want his cheeks to be kind of sticking out a bit. So I'm actually gonna, when I curve this line here, this circle, I'm gonna come like this and have his cheek sticking out a bit. Okay, so we'll erase the stuff we don't want. And the same on this side, we'll have this come down and end right about here. And before I erase any lines, I'm just going to make sure I got everything where I want it. Like that. And I think maybe my Mickey's nose is a little small, so I'm going to go make his nose a little bit bigger. Like that. You can go in and I like this. I'm going to go and use my markers to color Mickey in. So I'll start with my Sharpie. I'll grab a nice new Sharpie here, or anything black, and I'm going to draw some of the lines that I know are just black lines. And I'm going to color in his eye and leave some highlights in white. And then I'm going to go and color in the rest of the black spots. Fill in his ears, the sides of his head. And you can see some of the lines that we drew in pencil, they're starting to go away because you're starting to see just these dark lines. They come more into visibility. Okay, our black lines are all complete. We filled in the dark areas of Mickey's head, his nose, his eyes, inside of his mouth. I'm going to use a red marker and color in his tongue area using red. And I'm going to be careful not to trace over the black because sometimes the black will bleed into the red. And erase a few more unwanted pencil lines. And we'll brush those away. And then we'll wrap it up with our flesh marker. So I'm going to start in between the eyes here because the eyes are going to be white and I don't want to mistakenly cross inside of them. So I'll outline the eyes first, making it a little easier for me to remember. There we go. And now you can kind of fill in everything else. So there he is, Mickey Mouse. How you doing, Mickey? Hopefully you guys were following along and yours turned out just as cool as this one did. I'm sure yours did. Please subscribe to my channel down below and click that notification bell because we will be posting new videos every day. So until next time, we'll see you around. Bye-bye.